Hello, glorious souls. Welcome to your Soul Service Astrology update for the week of the 27th of June, 2022. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Kel. I'm a 13-sign sidereal astrologer, and I'm also a mentor. I'm a mentor to successful professional leaders, and I would love to serve you to amplify your intuition, amplify your imagination, take you deeper into your flow states so that you can create how you desire to create. And we do that via a process of tending earth with sky. And that's what Soul Service Astrology is. Please hit subscribe so that you get these updates, these downloads, these opportunities to vibrate in the frequency of the planets and the stars. And that's the whole point. That is one of the laws, the law of vibration. We might feel lower vibrations. And to give you an example of what a lower vibration is, that's if you're feeling stressed or you're procrastinating or you're confused. They're lower vibrations. And if we want to shift and continue achieving our goals and moving more towards what success means to us, and success is going to look different for everyone, we need to be stepping into feeling states that we desire to be stepping into, like gratitude and compassion and freedom and joy. And the planets are a portal for us to do that. And you can do it on a daily basis. So without further ado, please sit back and enjoy this week's little update, astrological update, as I share my screen with the transit information. My computer likes to do that to me, just throw up all the screens in front of me when I go to share my screen. You'd think I'd have it down pat by now. All right, welcome to Monday, the 27th of June. We have a couple of aspects happening over the Monday and the Tuesday. And obviously the main one that pops out at you, because it's the only one on the screen, is Jupiter square the Sun in Gemini. So Jupiter is a very expansive energy. So think about our minds when we're a kid. Wonderment, curiosity, like look at kids, like they won't stop they won't stop asking questions if they are on a pathway to understand something, right? That's kind of Jupiter energy. It's like the curiosity will just keep propelling them down to absorb more and more knowledge. Now, in Pisces, Jupiter is operating in a way that is very focused on the collective and coming back into one mind and unity. So at the beginning of this video, I spoke about the law of vibration. What I've just mentioned then is the law of one mind. Now, these are hermetic laws, but they also parallel with the ecological laws. So essentially, they're the laws of consciousness that we are a part of. We are part of the earth, we're part of the solar system, we're part of the universe. And there are some, humans love laws, right? There are some laws, very flexible, fluid laws. But these ones are energetic laws rather than being other types of laws that humans love to create. So the law of one mind is that everything's interconnected. And similarly in ecology and on this beautiful planet, we are all interconnected. Like you look at a food chain and you remove something from the food chain, or you cause an imbalance within an environment by putting an introduced species in there, and you just look at what happens. And the same can be said for industrial agriculture, and how putting poison to grow food and then putting more poison on it to stop the insects coming is affecting our food, and that's the food that we consume, and what is it doing to us? So you can see the connection there. So with Jupiter in Pisces, this very expansive, I want to raise my vibration to step back into the state that everybody is one, that this whole planet is one, that I am part of the planet. Now, square the Sun in Gemini is likely to throw up the concept of doubt. She is crazy talking. This lady I'm listening to is crazy talking. there is no such thing as this one mind and that we're all connected. Clearly, I am separate to that person in front of me. But at the first point, we were energy. And then as the universe has cooled down, we have condensed into this human form. And if you look at evolutionary charts, the amount of time that the planet has had to play with all sorts of iterations and combinations of elements and molecules, it's billions of years, right? And that's what we've come to. And it's absolutely miraculous. So I think for our mind to overcome these doubts that we are separate from anything is to just look at the miraculousness of our planet and to look at the miraculousness of our solar system and where we're seated. So seated around the sun. So that's your opportunity to step into a higher vibration and to step into this, oh, I'm not separate from everything else. This is a theme that we'll run through this week. Neptune also starts going backwards on the 27th. Oh, there we go. So you can see it starts to 27th, 28th. It starts to retrograde. What does it mean when Neptune starts to appear to move backwards? So from a physical perspective, in this physical form, we're watching the planets out in the solar system. If you had a telescope, because that's how you would see Neptune, you would see it start to appear to move backwards. So from an energetic perspective, and what I just mentioned in relation to doubts, in relation to the energetic laws that govern the universe, so the thermodynamic laws, and then you've got the ecological laws here on the planet, and they're interlinked, that it's time to do a review. What do I see myself as part of this collective? Do I see myself as mystical intelligence condensed in human form? Do I feel that the earth is a sentient being? Do I feel that the solar system is a sentient being in forms of consciousness, and that we have come out of both? This is philosophical discussion here. So this is an opportunity over the next few months for you to deepen into your mystical intelligence. And just a reminder, what is our mystical intelligence? It is our body. Our body feeds us information. Our body feeds information to our mind through the gut, through the heart. There are two main ones. Our mind is part of our body. It is fed by the body. It is fed by the environment that it's in. It will form beliefs. Then our environment influences us and we influence our environment. So you have an environmental intelligence. Are you listening to your environment? Are you letting it determine how you function, your body functions, and what you think? So that's just one example. And then we have emotions, and that's our emotional intelligence. Are we listening to our emotions? How are we letting the external dictate our emotions, or are our emotions managed within our soul space and within our body? And then if we continue to move out, we are consciousness, and we have this expanded awareness, which I will call non-local, because it doesn't reside within us. It is that connection between all the electrons and the atoms that are buzzing around us always and coming in and out through our breath. And within our body, there is that connection to the cosmic field. I like it. Connection to the cosmic field. Consciousness, whatever you want to call it. Other people call it God, divine, the universe, source. I'm going to call it the cosmic field. So it's a great time for you to look into that. Do you feel mystical? Do you want to feel mystical? I'm mystical. I think I need to own it. And I honestly think professional, successful people, because I'm also a professional scientist, can also be mystical, can also be spiritual. And we need to end that separation between science and spirituality, because science and spirituality were born together and they got separated, and now they've been pitted against each other. When in actual fact, there's just a few Chinese whispers. I shouldn't say Chinese whispers, I should say whispers that have really made our understanding of what happened historically become a little bit corrupted. Science is great, spirituality is great, and they can come back together. All right, that's my little mergy rant. Science and spirituality coming back together. Okay, so the 29th of June sees our new moon. So the sun moved into Gemini last week, and now we have the moon moving into Gemini. So that signifies that we are now entering the Gemini season. In 13th sign Sidereal and soul service astrology, this is what I'm playing with over the next year, is that we're looking at the physical location of the sun with the backdrop of the stars and the physical location of the moon at the new moon. And that flavors our season rather than just using the colonialized structures of what a season is. Now, I would encourage you to also be looking at your environment when I describe the word season. So Gemini, it's these two lines. And I've thought about Gemini for some time because I've always felt like I don't understand it. But I have Jupiter and Mars in Gemini together, which is, fascinating to me. I'm still learning about that in my natal chart. So my biggest understanding, my biggest takeaway most recently as it's been filtering in, as I've been dropping into Gemini season, and you get to do that too, start to feel let your intuition feed you information through feeling, sensing, hearing, or knowing, and your dreams as well, that I feel like Gemini represents the law of polarity. Now, I haven't discussed this before and I'm still feeling into it, so I might sound a bit clunky describing it, but my understanding is in nature and in the universe, there's usually opposites. So feminine, masculine, light, dark, space, mass, physical energy. And what else have I written here that I quite like? Oh, what else have I written here? Student and teacher. Okay, so if we look at the archetypes, student and teacher, and it's an interesting concept because sometimes in our mind, when we go and learn, we learn something and we think that we can't then become the teacher of what we've learned. But in actual fact, my yoga teacher, he said, for you to really embody and integrate the learning, you have to teach it. So that's ending separation. And you see me as the demonstration of this every week, where I come in and I've taken a few notes, but more often than not, I'm coming here to teach you about the astrology that's present for us at this particular point in time. I share some of my experiences and the opportunities for you to explore it, but I'm not writing everything down before. So this is my learning as well as my teaching. So explore that in your intention setting. What does it mean to you to be the student and the teacher? And then on the other side of that, what does it mean to you to end separation? Noting that at the beginning of this video, I was starting to talk about lots of this Pisces stuff. Can we fuse the mind back with the spirit? And the answer is yes, but we need to get the mind on board. So perhaps that's what happens this season. Now, to do that, you're going to need to set some intentions. And I would suggest this new moon is an opportunity to look at the stories your mind is telling yourself about being both the student and the teacher, or the stories you're telling yourself about you being mystical and connected to everything there is, because that can blow people's minds apart. Like it blew my mind apart several years ago, but now I'm on the train, so I like to go and blow other people's minds apart. Okay, so that's what can happen this new moon. Interestingly enough, it is also square Jupiter. So that expansion our expansion into our interconnectedness, our expansion into the concept of one mind, that's the call. You need to overcome the mental hurdles to step into freedom, joy, wonderment, trust, faith, expansion, and come back into this beautiful flowing state of connection. But we need to overcome those doubts and beliefs that are holding us back from experiencing that. So that's the new moon on the 29th. And then the new moon continues on Thursday, and so does the square energy. And then as we move into Friday, the 1st of July, still under the new moon vibes, but it moves into Cancer. We have Pluto square Mars. So when Pluto is in Sagittarius, it's been in Sagittarius for a long time, we feel this destructive liberator energy. So it's destruction to liberate us towards our highest truth, our highest power, for us to own our power, that we are both a spiritual and physical being having an earthly experience, right? So it's smashing those beliefs. There's been some external things in our world that have been completely out of our control, aka pandemic. I would go so far as to say environmental crisis, but that kind of is in our control. But whether we grab the bull by the horns and actually start to take control and responsibility for the damage that we have caused, that's something I feel like we're in the process of doing. So there's this destructive liberator energy, square Mars in Pisces. Now, Mars is will and direction and focus, and it's in Pisces, and Pisces is all, let's be connected to our mystical intelligence and our mystical nature and embrace this concept of the one mind that Kelly was talking about. But Mars is resistive to that. Mars can be resistive to embracing the nebulousness that comes with the world, and Mars can sometimes be resistive to embracing change. So one of my mentors, she said, spiritual success is the ease at which we change. And I believe that because I've had a lot of change in my life over the last, goodness me, since 2015, so 7 years, and it's still unfolding, and I'm getting more and more comfortable with change. So I feel like the Pluto square Mars is an opportunity for you to embrace change. And it might just be small change, it might be big change, but how can you embrace it more? And how can you let go of the things that you really can't control? So that's the first, and that aspect continues for the rest of the week. But let's move on to Saturday, the 2nd of July. We have a nice aspect. All right, so we've had some challenging things this week. However, Saturn trine Mercury is a great opportunity for you to connect with what you've been successful at and be proud. Now, these could be recent things that you've been successful, or these could be historical things, because Saturn is time. So Saturn does go look at the past because the past informs the present, and Saturn's currently retrograde. So looking at the past can inform the present. Now, this is to get us on board with what we have looked at our soil over Taurus season, right? So the mind will look for evidence that, yes, I can change, and yes, I can fulfill new goals. Sometimes we don't have that if we're stepping off into the unknown. So this is an opportunity, and this aspect suggests ease for you to look at your past accomplishments, your past success, your past knowledge and wisdom, and how that feeds into the now. And you can feel that vibration and be proud, because there's been clinical studies that have shown acknowledging what you are proud of can fuel you to achieve more goals. And you put that into your soil, the soil of your mind, and you feel that, and you allow that to infuse your goals going forward. So you can hear me talking energetically there as to how you can help the mind get on board with the very grounded, earthy architect in bringing your new goals to life. So embrace that, enjoy it, soak in the things that you've achieved. They don't need to be huge, right? They can be little things. It's the feeling that is attached to that achievement that will help you expand even deeper into that. Okay. Then when we move into Sunday, the 3rd of July, Neptune retrograde is now square the mind. So, and Saturn is still trine Mercury. So you might feel this internal tug of war. So what I would suggest you do on Sunday, and what I wrote in my notes was very intuitively, was Sunday is typically a Sabbath. And I was like, what does that mean? I have to go and look that up. And of course it has a Jewish meaning. And it has a Catholic meaning, but it also has a witchy meaning, which means it's a gathering of witches to do ritual. And I think that's a great thing to do on a Sunday. So maybe there is a ritual you would like to do. Of course, Taurus loves ritual. Soil always needs tending. Our mind always needs a break. So what ritual can you conduct on Sunday to really get on board with this ending of separation, coming back into your mystical intelligence, embracing yourself as the student and the teacher, embracing your polarities, but knowing that we're connected to it all, so that we can start to step into and flow into what our definition of success looks like. And we can use the planets and the stars, as I've described them here today, for you to expand and amplify into your success, your goals and your achievements. So that's it from me this week. If you are a professional and successful leader or entrepreneur, and you would like to fuse more spirituality in how you do your work, and when I say that is how you show up for your clients, my current program, which is currently called Illuminate to Initiate, is a 9-week program for you to step into the energetic field of the planets and the stars, so that you can embrace them and harness them, elevate your vibration, expand your imagination, expand your intuition, and show up and serve your clients at a higher level, which will correlate into you achieving your goals and achieving the success that you desire to achieve. And the planets are a portal to help you to do that. So if you're interested in that program, just message me and we can have a chat. Have a glorious week, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.